everybody. Today I'm going to be going over my round one game from the Baltimore Open, which was my first ever classical tournament game, which is super exciting. I had never played a classical over the board tournament, and I was super excited to kind of jump headfirst into this. I was playing in the under 1600 section, and this was a 3-day tournament and 90 plus 30 for the first round, and then the rest of the rounds were 110 plus 30. So this one was a 90-30 game. I was playing white, and let's get into it. So I was playing white against a 1150 kid. She was super cool, and I knew nothing about her prior to this other than her rating, basically. So I played e4. She played c5. I played knight c3. Grand Prix, that's all I know. That's all we're gonna get. I was rated at the beginning of this tournament 1435 provisional, because I had played a rapid type of tournament. It was like a 25-minute delay 5 before, so this was my provisional for classical that they used was the 1435. And so I was thinking, all right, I got this. So I was pretty confident in this game. I thought, okay, at least maybe I can get a win. It's the first round of the tournament. It was like a Friday night. I was ready to go. And so Grand Prix, here we go. Then she played a6, which is kind of crappy for me because I like to put my bishop out here as well as here in the Grand Prix. Either one of these is fine. And I can't do that now because obviously I can't put it here because then she just pushes it back, and I obviously can't put it here because the pawn just takes. So this kind of sucks, and my bishop is stuck for a little bit. So I played f4, just opening up my side of the board, getting ready to develop my knight, and then eventually play this, and then open up my bishop and develop in castle king side. That was my plan. So she played e6, and I was expecting probably knight e7 next, and then d4 or d5 to open up the center. But she did not play that. I played knight f3, just developing, and she immediately played d5, which I thought was a little bit weird because usually knight e7 I see first to at least support the push. But there's no way I'm taking that damn pawn. If I take that pawn and they take back, it just it opens up that bishop, and I don't want that. So I didn't do that. And my king is just all stuck here in the center, and it's ugly. So instead, I played d3, which was great. I knew that my bishop wasn't going to be going on either of these two squares. So it's fine to kind of lock it in. And so then she played knight c6, and I played bishop e2, which maybe isn't a mistake, but it felt super uncomfortable to me because now my knight, if it gets pushed, can't go to this square, and it would have to go back to b1, which is pretty trash because it can't go here because it just gets trapped. So that was kind of scary in me playing this, and I had thought, okay, maybe I can just play g3 and fianchetto on the king side, but I don't really like that. So I decided to play bishop e2 and just kind of hope for the best. And then she immediately just played d4, which I thought was a mistake because it's just kind of weakening the center, and it's losing all of the tension. And I thought that positionally this was going to be a long-term weakness for black, having the pawn on d4. But I had to go back to b1, which is kind of trash. And now I'm going to have to fix this really bad knight in the future. So she played knight f6. I played castles, just developing, and then she played bishop e7, and I played queen e1, trying to turn this into a Grand Prix with ideas of queen h4 or queen g3, and just bringing my pieces to the strong side of the board. And so she castled, which was fine, and then I thought here for 15 minutes, oh, my cat. Please hold. Jojo demands pets. Okay, so I thought here for 15 minutes. Yeah, because I was terrified of the knight going here. I was straight up terrified because now it would be attacking this pawn, and now with my queen over here on e1, it's no longer defending that. And I was like, how am I going to defend this pawn? And also, I don't want to deal with anything on the queen side. I want to be on the king side. I don't want to have to keep moving my pieces over to the or over to the queen side, because that's not my strong side of the board. That's her side, her strong side of the board, which I don't want to deal with this knight coming here and just being a nuisance in my position. So I thought for a really long time, and I was debating either playing knight a3, but I didn't like that because b5 comes, and that's just like bleak having my knight on the rim over here. So I didn't end up doing the knight over here, and I was debating either knight here or playing a3, and I did end up playing a3, which felt like a waste of time. And I was really scared playing this because I knew it was a loss of tempo, and I can't really get that back, and it's not a developing move. I still have a whole bunch of pieces that need to get out, and so that was kind of annoying. But I knew that she also had some pieces that needed to get developed, so maybe it's fine and I'll be able to recover. So she ends up playing rook e8, which I thought was a little bit weird because I'm trying to open up the f file eventually with an f5 push. And so I knew that that was going to open up, and she's kind of losing a defender of the f7 pawn long term. So she ends up playing rook e8, and I play knight bd2, trying to have ideas of going here and trading off the knight and just getting rid of this horrible b1 knight that has now plagued me. So she played queen c7, which I thought was fine. She's developing, I guess. And now my f pawn is hanging, but it's fine because I wanted to play knight c5 or knight c4 anyway. And I knew that b5 was going to come, and I was just going to trade. And that's exactly what happened. So I went over to e5, and then she played bishop b7. And here I could have thought for a little bit, I think I felt like I needed to move my knight because she was going to take it, but I didn't realize that actually her taking it is like amazing for me. I instead just took the damn knight, which not so great. I also maybe could have played this, which gets a little spicy. And then if king takes, I have a check, and she can't go here because she loses the queen. Oh, yeah, she loses the queen. So she would have to go here instead, which I can still take here, and it gets a little spicy. Maybe she plays something like this, and I just defend, and everything opens up. My knight is now beautiful, and all of my problems are solved. The queen is going to come out, and it's just going to be a fight. And so I didn't see this in the game. At this point, I had like about 55 minutes on the clock, and she had pretty much the same amount of time. So I took and just simplified and got rid of that annoying knight that was plaguing me on b1 and moved on with my life. She took back, and then I made a really stupid move, and I played knight h4, which is a mistake. It is not the best move because she can just play this. And now what am I going to do? Because she's threatening to take here, and my knight is only protected by my queen, and therefore I would just lose a pawn. And so once I saw her play this, I was like, oh, all right, let me just go back. And that's exactly what I did. And then she went back, just letting me have a free tempo and not having to lose what I almost just lost of that time. And it was great. It was just like, okay, let's reset the position and you get to try again. So I did. And I played instead now knight e5, which felt like a really good move because my knight is just like beautiful here. She played rook ad8. It's not a bad move. She's just bringing another piece to the center. She's developing. And now I played queen g3, which is great. My position looks beautiful at this point. I have ideas of f5. I have ideas of bishop h6 and trying to break through on the g file as the g pawn is pinned. So now she played knight d7. And here I was really upset because all I wanted to do was push this f pawn. And I think I was so focused on pushing this f pawn that I kind of stopped thinking about other things. For example, I don't have to move my knight. I thought I had to move my knight because I hadn't seen that tactic of like if she takes and I take back and then she takes that I just win the queen. I hadn't seen that. So it got really annoying for me because of that. So instead, I just took the bishop and I made her queen move away from this diagonal so that I can finally push my f pawn, which is what I did. And then she played bishop d6, which is fine, attacking my queen. And then I played a really stupid move. Again, And I should just move my queen. I should play like maybe queen here or maybe queen here. This is not as fun though, because she can just kind of come and attack me with her knight on either of these two squares actually. And so that kind of gets annoying. So I should probably just play queen here and move on with my life. But I didn't do that. I instead traded off my best piece and I played bishop here, which is a mistake because this is my best piece. All of my pawns are on light squares. This is an amazing bishop. I'm going to need this bishop to break through on the G file. So this was just a bad move. And I, at this point, had, I think, 28 minutes on the clock, and she was slowly gaining time on me. She had 37 minutes. So I was like, okay, she's kind of almost 10 minutes ahead of me. This is getting a little bit scary. And she just took, of course. I took back with the rook to hopefully try and double up later on. And then she took here, which I thought was also kind of weird. I thought maybe that she was going to play this and attack my rook and not let me open up the file. But she kind of gave me everything I wanted by taking. And then I took back with the rook. And I'm happy that the F file is finally open. She played rook e6, which I thought was kind of weird as well. Yeah, I don't know. Maybe she's just trying to stop like all ideas of bringing my pieces on any of these squares because she has a pretty file or a pretty rank lined up. I'm not sure what the point of that move was. And then I saw the point. After I played this, doubling up, she played this. And she just wants to trade all her pieces because my position is better. And I let her do that because I didn't know what else to do. And so I took the frickin' rook when I shouldn't really be doing that. She took back. And then I thought here for probably a minute. I had like 19 minutes on the clock. And I played h4 like a madwoman because I didn't know what else to play. And I thought, why not just add another piece to the equation and just start fucking throwing all my pieces down the board. And so she played knight d7, and she's trying to bring her knight to this beautiful square that's going to blockade my pawn from ever being able to push. I didn't realize at the time how annoying it would be for the knight to end up on this square and that I need to prevent that from happening. So I should play something like this to attack the knight and, if anything, trade it off because this bishop is trash. This bishop, I hated this bishop from the beginning. I wanted it originally all the way in the beginning to go to one of these two squares over out here on either b5 or c4 back in the way beginning of the game. And it turned into my worst piece and I was pissed. And so I went a little crazy. I played queen f4, which is fine. That's a fine move. Attacking this square. And now she played rook f8, which is kind of weird because it's a slow move. She's just being super passive. It's not the best. She's just kind of going back. And if you remember, she had moved her other rook to here, to here, and to here, and traded it off. And then her other rook went here, and now it's going here. So it just kind of, you replaced your old rook in a not very good position. So now I went a little crazy again, and I played g4, which I was very upset. As you can tell, I had 12 minutes left on the clock at this point, and I didn't know what to do. I felt like I needed to start opening up the position and adding more pieces to the fire. So she played queen e6, attacking my g-pawn, and I played g5. Thank you very much. I'm very happy to play this, and I'm threatening to play this. Now she played queen e5. Here, I should not trade because she wants to get her knight on this square, and if I trade, she just takes back and she gets to go onto this square. I didn't realize how annoying that would be, so I should just play maybe this or just not going to this square. I should not trade queens. And I had, I think, 10 minutes on the clock at this point, and I thought for 2 minutes, and I just didn't really want to make it complicated, and I took. And just like I said, she took back, and now this knight is a boss. It is so good, and my bishop sucks. So I played rook f5, I don't know, attacking the knight. She played f6, and then I played king g2, trying to bring my king into the game. She played king f7, doing the same thing. And then I played g takes f6. She played g takes f6, and then I made a mistake and I played rook h5, which is a pointless move. I don't know what I'm doing over here. I thought maybe I can win this. I had 6 minutes on the clock and I could not find a plan for the life of me, and I was getting stressed, and more I felt like I was going to lose this game. And she played king g6, just like asking me a question like, hey, what are you doing? And here I thought, okay, maybe I can just like walk my king up and eventually like maybe like over here and over here, but then like what am I doing over here? There's nothing there's no breakthrough. There's nothing. But I had less and less time, and at this point she had 22 minutes on the clock and I had 6 minutes. So it's not looking good for me. And then she played c4 and the game turned in my favor as she offered a draw. And I should definitely take a draw here because this knight is a beast and my bishop sucks. And it's just, she's at least maybe not winning, but she has the advantage. So she offered a draw here and I was like, yes, please. Thank you very much. Draw. Okay, game over. We're done. Like, we're fine. And so game ended up being a draw. And I was kind of upset that I had lost, or not lost, but this felt like demoralizing because I really thought I was going to win this game, especially when you go back and I had like this beautiful position when I had played queen g3. I just had the most gorgeous position. Like, look at this. Everything is perfect in this position and I have a great attacking structure, and I just kind of let the advantage slip away from my fingers. And then I gave her the advantage by like playing my rook over to h5. Like, there was just no point in doing that. So I think for my first classical game, I played pretty good. I was worried about the time. I had only played like 2 prep games for this tournament prior to this, and they both were like 60 minutes plus 30. I hadn't played a 90-30 yet. So this was kind of my first time doing that, which may not have been the best plan, but that's what I did. And so I feel like I did pretty good for not having all that much preparation for the time control. And I think that you can see the weaknesses in me not having over the board experience when it took me 15 minutes to play a3 going all the way back to here where I took 15 minutes. Like, that just, it was not ideal. And I wasted a lot of time when this is just kind of a position I don't need to be taking so much time to think about because there's no tactics that are actually happening. And so I knew that I had messed up here and spent way too much time. So I feel like I played pretty well for my first classical over the board game. And I just kind of moved on with my life, took the draw, and was like, okay, well, tomorrow I'll play another 2 games and we'll move on. And at least I didn't lose, because definitely that ending position was definitely not in my favor. She could have done a lot more after this. I think that she was definitely winning. And she had the advantage at the bare minimum. I need to like walk my king and try and like come over here to defend like everything that's going to open up on the queen side. But it was a draw. I'm happy with it. I hope you guys enjoyed this game of me going over my first round of the Baltimore Open of my first classical tournament. It was really fun to play, and the rest of my rounds get a little bit spicy. They get a little crazy. So this was, I think, the if not the most tame, the second most tame of my games. The other ones get a little crazy. So those are going to be really fun to review soon. Yeah, so I hope you guys enjoyed this video and have a wonderful rest of your day. Bye.